Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of All in All with Alex. I'm your host, of course, Alex, and today we have a very special guest, the lovely Miss Blanca Rodriguez. How you doing?
Good and yourself, Alex. I'm so happy and full of joy to be here. Thank you for having me.
And I'm excited to have you on today. We got a good episode for everybody watching today. So, can you give the people a quick background about yourself before we dive in?
Yes, absolutely. I am Puerto Rican, born in New York City from Puerto Rican parents. My parents moved to the US in search of the American dream. And with lots of work and dedication, definitely my father conquered the American dream. He was a business owner. He owned two different businesses and the apartment building where we used to live in Brooklyn. And life was amazing and wonderful. And suddenly and tragically, we lost my father in a armed robbery gone terribly wrong. From there, we moved to Puerto Rico. Life definitely was never the same again. I grew up around a lot of confusion, a lot of isolation. My mother went into a very deep depression and she never recovered from it. It was a time when mental illnesses and mental health was totally prohibited to be talked about. This was back in the 1970s, very long time ago. And the beauty of this is that fast forward till today, many good things have been done around and about mental illness and how people are open to these conversations. And it's a beautiful thing to see. I'm very grateful to being able to see this. And after my father's death, definitely I went into a very deep rabbit hole of confusion, low self esteem, self doubt, self destructive patterns, and considering that my father was violently killed and my mother, with her mental illness, she was a very violent person as well, I went into a very deep rabbit hole of abuse myself and having very difficult relationships. The father of my children, he was a very violent man as well. But in the midst of all that violence and all the darkness, beautiful things came into my life, like being able to live in Florida, becoming the mother of my children, becoming a professional massage therapist. I am a holistic life coach, canine massage therapist. I'm into fitness for people 45 plus, speaker, educator, author, volunteer, guest speaker for podcasts from all over the world. And my biggest mission out of all of these things, because I am giving you a very small resume about everything that has happened for many decades of my life. And out of all of these things, out of all of these lessons, definitely something really, really beautiful came out of this, which is help others improve their quality of life, no matter what age we are. And that's when my business called Wounded Healer was born. And us Wounded Healers, we are people that we find that we use our trauma and we don't really use it. We are our traumatic experiences, our childhood trauma inspires us to help others do better in life, helping them through our lessons, through our difficulties, through our very dark seasons in our life, to help others, definitely. And it's our biggest inspiration, because we know the feeling, we know the struggle, we know the darkness, we know the difficult moments, we know the isolation. And taking that under consideration, we can definitely become helpers to a lot of people out there. So that's basically it. Very happily married to a wonderful man, but it was through a lot of hard work and dedication that I could get out of these horrible moments in life and become the human being that I am today. So I'm very grateful to be here. More grateful than anybody may know. That's for sure.
That's good. That's good. So let's dive into it. So, how did your journey in massage therapy begin, and what drew you to that field?
Well, definitely. I've always been a helper, and this is one of the very good things that my parents, both of them, my mom and my dad, instilled in me, and it was the love for helping others. Definitely, my father, he was a very abundant person, a very successful person, and he always knew how hard it is to get to the next level. And when we receive abundance, we give abundance, because the beauty of this, when you give, you will definitely receive. And my father was a helper, he was a giver. He will help anybody be better, do better. He will be, even my mother will be, but why are you hiring this person to help you when he's not doing absolutely nothing? Because he needs the help, chica. He needs the help. So he was that kind of person. He will always be sending money to Puerto Rico, to the family, to his parents, to his brothers, sisters, with anybody that needed help. Definitely, he was there for everyone, and he was beloved by the community because of that. And my mother, definitely, she was another big inspiration for me to help people and to help others, because the same way that my mother really didn't help herself in her journey, she really took matters into her hands to help others when they needed the help from her. So that is where my helping spirit comes from. And I always was interested in doing something more than just being a secretary or a travel agent or a server. I did all of these things. I wanted to really help others to feel the effects of my help at another level. And this is when massage therapy came into play. I wanted to be a physical therapist, but that was like way too many years and way too much money to pay for that. I went back to school at 38 years old with two kids in a very difficult relationship to become a massage therapist. And it was one of the biggest blessings that have happened, not only in my professional life, but in my life and my whole life in general, because I met holistic lifestyle, which is body, mind, and spirit, working as a whole, working as a group rather than separate entities. And I really understood that when we feel better in our minds, we feel better physically, we feel better in much more ways than one. I started to really apply what I learned, not only on my clients, and the biggest gift that I can receive from my clients is that they actually feel better. That when they go into a room before the massage, they feel miserable. And not that I want them to feel that way, but so many of them do feel that way. They are in pain, they're confused, they're stressed. Oh, stress. The word of this planet is stress. Everybody's stressed out and everybody is tired. So stress and tired, they come together hand in hand, because when we are stressed, it directly affects our bodies physically. So it makes total sense that when people are stressed, they're always tired. And it is amazing to see when somebody goes on my table, I help them through 1 hour of their time, and the way they get off of that table saying, I can go to sleep now. I am so happy. Thank you so much. And that is my biggest inspiration. One of my biggest inspirations to still be a massage therapist almost 20 years later. So I'm very happy and honored to help tens of thousands of people along the way. Very inspirational.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, what in addition to that, what led you to become a certified canine massage therapist, and how does it differ from human massage therapy?
Human massage therapy has been around since 3000 BC. It's a very ancient practice. It started in China and it came all the way, I mean, it went all the way around the world. It comes from, I mean, thousands of years ago, obviously. Animal massage therapy was born in 2700 BC, 300 years after human massage therapy was created. The same powerful effects that we feel as humans, the same powerful effects our beloved dogs will feel, because we are mammals. We share being mammals. We have body systems, organs, muscles, feelings, touch, vision, smell, and all of these things, us and dogs, we are very similar. Touch is the first sensation that human babies feel, and touch is the first sensation that dogs feel as well. So the sensation of touch is the that is the sensation that dogs and us humans share the most. And yes, their feeling of touch is is much more sensitive than ours, but the feeling of it, the powerful effects of touch, and those effects are absolutely the same. I have worked on thousands of animals myself during my 9-year career as a canine massage therapist, and it is my honor to work on our dogs as well, because let's face it, as animal lovers that I am, that you are, our animals put up with us all the time. And they have the biggest, the most important job in an animal world is to be with their human companion. It doesn't matter which emotional state we are. Our dogs will always love us no matter how we feel. If we're angry, if we're sad, if we're happy, they will always be there for us. And this is why there's so many service dogs and emotional service dogs now, because they are a powerful source for our well-being. So how we cannot give the gift of love, the love that our dogs give us, which is canine massage therapy, is excellent for post-surgery. It's excellent for separation anxiety. And I have worked on dogs from puppies, competition dogs, agility dogs, that they get really hurt when they're in competition. And I have worked with dogs all the way till right before they're about to cross the rainbow, which is palliative care. So I have done every single aspect of dog massage therapy. I have done it, and it has always been the same feeling of honor, joy, bonding, because the bonding is immediate and is a very powerful practice for these animals. Highly recommended. If you have a dog, please give your dog the gift of canine massage therapy.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have a dog. I'm not a huge animal person,
It's
so
okay.
I don't have a dog.
It's okay. You know what? Having an animal is a huge responsibility, and it's not for everybody. And this is the thing. And thank you for bringing that up, because this is very important. A dog is a full responsibility 7 days a week. There's no days off, and it's your responsibility until the dog passes. A dog is not a toy. It's not to be thrown away when you're tired of it. A dog is a being, a living, feeling being that deserves to be treated well. So if you're not really an animal person, oh, they're cute. And you know what? Admire the animal from a distance. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's a huge responsibility. And that's why so many animal shelters are so full of animals that have been abandoned, neglected, abused, because it's a lot of work. Tens of thousands of dollars later if you want your animal to have good quality of life. So if you're not an animal person, don't be, but please don't have one just because they seem to be cute, because the cute can really go away once the workload starts, no matter how are you feeling that day or not. So be very aware of that. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just how I am, because I know it's a lot of work, and I know it's a lot of time that needs to go into it. And with my
Mm-hmm.
particular lifestyle schedule that I have, I'm not gonna be able to have the requisite time, because I already have kids, so I'm putting in time with them, and then plus I'm working, plus I'm running my business, so I just don't
Right.
have time to really
Yeah.
care for it, and it wouldn't end up it went well, and so that's why I don't let my kids have it either, because they're not gonna put in the time for it. They're gonna expect me to do it, and I know I'm not gonna have the time, so I want
Oh,
to just
absolutely, absolutely. And that's the best thing you can do. And especially the kids that they think that, oh my God, those puppies are so adorable. Yes, they are adorable. Yes, they are. A lot of work and dedication is an obligation. And if you're a parent, you have an obligation with your kids. I am a parent myself. We lost our beloved dog close to 2 years ago. And because of our work schedule, we don't have a dog right now. We would love to have one, but it will be a disservice for the animal to have a dog just to have it in an apartment and the dog being alone all day long because we're working all the time. So definitely, as an animal lover that I am, I'm highly accepting of no. I am going to be doing a disservice and an act of cruelty to the animal if I have a dog right now. But I am a canine massage therapist and I love massaging my beautiful boo boo. So, one thing really doesn't have anything to do with the other, but As an animal lover that I am, that I had animals throughout my entire life. Right now is not the time for us to have an animal because it will be detrimental for us and especially the animal. So please make a decision, a conscious decision, study the pros, study the cons, and remember the life of this animal depends entirely on you. So please think about it before you adopt. And most importantly, research the breed of the animal. If you think, for example, there's many shows like Game of Thrones, for example. Oh, there were huskies, there were wolf dogs. They're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. They're working dogs. And if you leave a husky at home all day and you go to work, your husky is going to get busy. And for them, getting busy is destroying your house. So please be aware of that. And of course, they're shedding all year long. So be aware of that as well. So please do yourself a favor, folks, and research the breed of the dog before you get one.
Okay. So with over 40 years of dance and Zumba experience, how do movement and fitness contribute to overall wellness?
Absolutely, absolutely. Physical activity is not only good for our bodies, it is good for our emotional and for our emotional well-being and mental well-being as well. It is proven that any kind of physical activity, starting with something as simple as going outside for a 15-minute walk, can distress you more than just being at home and trying to breathe it out somehow. Okay. It is physical activity is an excellent source for socialization, especially with the older communities, the older population that many of them either lost a spouse, they are alone, they don't live with their kids anymore, the kids are far away. I live in Florida. This is the land of retirees. So in many of these retirement communities, this is why my fitness is right now focused on people 45 plus, because this is their way to socialize. This is the way to keep active. And this is their favorite pastime. Yeah, because it's their pastime. And it's amazing to see how much better people feel after having a good workout. And when I say workout, you don't have to go to a gym to have physical activity. Walking is phenomenal. Swimming is phenomenal. There's so many options out there about physical activity, and the options are endless. And definitely having a good workout, it helps with our sleep patterns. It helps with our overall wellness. It helps with sexual drive. It helps with, of course, de-stressing. All right, people that have mental illnesses and it's great for good mental health. And the happy chemical in our bodies, which is called endorphins, is an excellent source to put our the levels are of endorphins up, and our dopamine as well. Endorphins, that is what people call the runner's high. If you are a runner, if you like to run and you feel like, wow, I am so pumped up, definitely the happy chemicals of your bodies are the ones who are kicking in. And having a physical activity is excellent for cardiopulmonary health. So, and of course, it's great for better oxygenation to your brain. Besides, if you go outside, you will see nature, and it's really, really entertaining. I go for beach walks as many times as I possibly can because I live close to the beach, besides going to the gym, besides teaching Zumba. And teaching Zumba dance is one of these powerful, powerful physical activities that helps with cognitive function, balance, and creating good muscle mass all the way to our elderly years. And of course, it's great for body posture. So please be aware that physical activity is vital for better quality of life.
Right, right. So with that, can you share some tips for staying active and motivated regardless of age?
Oh, yes, definitely. Since I've been working, especially here in the state of Florida, that I've been working with a lot of aging people, having A lot good physical activity is great for keeping their bone structure in good standing. It's great for keeping the muscle mass in great standing. It's very inspirational to see our elderly people doing an effort of trying to get into that stage when instead of being in a sitting position, they stand up and they sit down. I do chair classes, and chair fitness is a very powerful source of physical activity. So when I say that there is something for everyone, there is something for everyone that it can keep them from saying, no, I tried once and it didn't work for me. It's like, no, I have a hip replacement. A lot of people with hip replacement, arthritis, knee replacements, people that in their younger years they were football players and they had many surgeries later. That is the biggest excuse, and not necessarily excuse, is the biggest reason for people not wanting to do any physical activity entering in their older years. And when I'm telling you that once people find what works for them, they won't look back because they will feel better once they are done. Their sleeping patterns will be better. They will feel more active. They will feel useful because with people in their elderly years, and the retirees especially, it's very difficult for people that retire to do something else than their work job because their work was their life. And many people feel this way. And when they start seeing life in a different lens, it's like, oh, hey, how about I go with my three friends, we go for a walk and we look at whoever, we look at the ladies, we do whatever, especially the guys. My guys, they're amazing. It's like, no, it's like five or six of us. We just put our tennis shoes and we go for a walk because we don't want to hear our wives saying things to us and sending us to do chores. So for them, that is the inspiration right there to socialize because it's excellent for socialization, and besides, it's excellent for their quality of life, better brain health, and it keeps them motivated. But once they find, and many of them, I have worked with thousands of people in this very long career of mine, and once the teacher goes around their needs and tell them and motivates them, and that's not motivating because motivation is short lived. Motivation is like, oh, I'm motivated today, but I'm not motivated tomorrow. It's inspiration. And once you give them that reason to come back for more, help them, persuade them, say, hey, you're doing great. Just give it a try, give it another try, give it another try. And they keep on trying, and the results are simply phenomenal. And it helps them. And the most results that I have seen is people that they have heart issues and they have arthritis. Once they get on moving, they feel better because arthritis causes a lot of stiffness and it causes a lot of pain and inflammation. But once there's some movements, any kind of movement is progress. Any kind of movement is medicine. And once these individuals really understand that concept, they will not look back. It's a beautiful thing.
I would agree. How has your involvement with Toastmasters shaped your public speaking and leadership skills?
Oh my God. Toastmasters, where leaders are made. I wrote a chapter in a book a few years ago, and the publishing company told me if you want your compelling story to be heard by the masses, you have to go out there and speak about it. And I said to myself, well, I've been a dance teacher and a Zumba teacher for many, many years, but people look at what I'm doing and they follow. So when it comes to speaking, you're just standing there and talking to people about what you do is a whole different ballgame. So a mentor of mine that he's been a Toastmaster for many, many years, he told me you need to join Toastmasters. It can help you improve your ability of communication and leadership skills. And I said, well, I'll try it. But I was terrified, to be honest with you. I'd never been a speaker before 3 years ago when I joined Toastmasters. And it was about getting out of my comfort zone and putting myself to the challenge, definitely. The first thing that I did is put myself to the challenge on writing a chapter about my life experience and about almost 40 of keeping silent about my experience with childhood trauma and so many other things. So when I joined Toastmasters, I was the last people on the back of the room. And nowadays, I am the vice president of education. I'm an area director for Toastmasters International. And I married Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a powerful platform for people that want to improve themselves, and not only on a professional sense, but these are lessons and these are skills that we take in our personal lives, and we take it for the rest of our lives. And I absolutely love this platform. If anybody is interested in becoming a Toastmasters, there are Toastmasters clubs all over the planet. There's over 15,000 Toastmasters clubs everywhere in 145 different countries. Toastmasters is 100 years old for a very powerful reason, and it's the best investment that I have. It's one of the best investments that I have done in my life is Toastmasters, and I highly recommend to anybody that is curious about it. Try it. You won't be disappointed, and it's for a very small amount of money. I pay what, $67 every 6 months to be a Toastmaster, and definitely it pays off tremendously. This is amazing. It's amazing, and I love Toastmasters, definitely.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty interesting. So, what volunteer initiatives are you involved in, and how do they align with your passion for wellness?
Absolutely. I am involved with two beautiful missions. One of them is called the Pet Cottage, and this platform is focused on animals that are either it's the animals that they receive permanent housing for dogs and cats that have been not abandoned, but that their companions have died. And most of these animals, they're seniors, they're very old dogs that really nobody wants to take care of them, or people that have been deployed and unfortunately have not come back. So I do massage therapy and volunteer service for this beautiful platform. And the other platform that I volunteer for is the Inner Truth Project. And this beautiful platform helps survivors of sexual violence with their recovery, with finding themselves, with starting to love themselves again. And as a sexual violence survivor that I am, this is a very important mission that I do have. And I help people start to appreciate their bodies in a new way by the way of helping them with massage therapy. They have yoga, they have meditation, psychotherapists there. I mean, it's a beautiful place and it's confidential. People are in a safe place, and definitely the stories that I have heard are extremely powerful and very intense. And it's not only for women, it's for gentlemen that have been sexually abused as well. So it's a very important mission for me, definitely.
Yeah, I mean that definitely sounds important. I mean, it's it's probably something that a lot of people don't think about. A lot of people don't think about the animals that people had before they passed on. Like, what are the animals going to do when they're so used to that one owner for however long that they had that owner for?
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's definitely a great initiative to be a part of for sure. So, talk to me quickly about your Amazon best-selling book. Like, what key messages do you hope people take away from it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The name of my book is Impact Leadership with Blanca Rodriguez. And this is one of the biggest achievements that I have in my life that helped me definitely get out of my shell. This chapter in my book, I'm a co-author with 29 other authors from all over the world, and all of us are sharing our stories of falling deep down the rabbit hole, going through very dark seasons in our lives, and still with hard work, dedication, persistence, and resilience, making it to the other side. And definitely this book really, really helped me with my healing tremendously, because things that I was in silence for over 40 years of my life, I let it all out. I told it to everybody. It was like it was a big part of my healing journey. And to the point that my own family, my brother and my sister will say, why didn't you say this before? It's like, what? There's nothing to say. And now it wasn't, before it wasn't the time to say it. Now it was the time to say it, and in a very big way, because definitely this book is about helping others with their own journeys of breaking the mold, breaking their silence, and making it through the other side. So it's a very one very important mission there, that's for sure.
So, what personal challenges have you had to overcome that influence your approach to helping others?
One of the biggest personal challenges that I had with my own journey was my silence. I was, upon the passing of my father, I grew up in Puerto Rican culture. And back in those days, all I heard from things that were very tragic, it was a shh, you don't talk about the dead. You cannot talk about that. You don't talk about mental illnesses. You don't talk. And me and my 8-year old mind, I thought, well, the worst thing that has happened in my life is the death of my father. So that means that I cannot talk about bad things. It is proven that 2/3 of all children from around the world will have a tragic experience by the time they reach 16 years old, whether it is the tragic passing of a loved one, being bullied by family or school, or sexual assault. I've been through all three of these by the time I reached 9 years old. I went almost 40 years of my life being in silence, being in shame, because somehow I always thought that I was responsible for everything that happened to me. And being brought up by a parent that she was very unstable, that she was violent, that she was emotionally unavailable. Definitely that was one of the biggest challenges in my life, was that. And it was very long lasting. My silence, being quiet, pretending that everything was cool and it was fine when it really wasn't. I was an expert of having a facade, of being a functional woman, a professional. I went to school. I had kids, all of these things, but the very deep down inside, I was dealing with a lot of demons and a lot of ghosts of my past. And it was time for me to face them, because we don't heal trauma by running away from it. We heal trauma by confronting it. And when the time came for me to confront my trauma, that's when better things came to my life. That's when the healing journey was really started. It was a lot of hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, tears. You go to very ugly places when you finally face yourself. And that is, and that and so many other things were really big challenges for me. But once we go through these big challenges, once we confront ourselves, once we are accepting that the wounds are not our fault, but the healing is our responsibility, much better things do come. But you have to put the work if you want to feel better and you want to really see the change that you so very much deserve.
Yep, for sure. So, how did you come up with the name Wounded Healer, and what does it signify to you?
I was invited to a podcast a little over a year ago, and this phenomenal human being that I call a friend and mentor, the name of the episode that I participated was The Diary of a Wounded Healer. And I said to myself, that is what I want my business to be all about. Wounded healers, we are people that we use our bad experiences as gasoline, as our biggest inspiration to help others improve their quality of life. And the word wounded healer comes from very ancient times, actually. There was this legend from Greek mythology, actually. There was this legend of this soldier that he was wounded by an arrow and he became a healer after being wounded by an arrow. So it comes from very ancient times. But wounded healers, not only from Greek mythology, it comes from the Peruvian Incas. From the Incas, the shamans are wounded healers as well. They're in the category of wounded healers as well. So definitely, us wounded healers are. We definitely mean it when we say we are here to help you heal. And considering my background on being a massage therapist. I've been a massage therapist for 20 years, a canine massage therapist. I'm into fitness for people 55 over. I'm a holistic life coach, a speaker, an educator. Definitely is all about healing our body, mind, and soul. And it's my mission for the rest of my life, actually.
So to wrap things up, I guess the last thing that I have for you is what are your future goals for your work in wellness and education?
Definitely, my future goals is keep on being a student so I can be an educator. Because the more I learn, the more I can spread the word to the masses. I want to speak to as many people as possible the word of hope, resilience, persistence, and never giving up, no matter what age we are. Culturally speaking, there's many cultures from all over the world that they give you like you have like a certain time frame or a certain age to achieve different things in life. And that doesn't have to be the norm. We are not here to go with the norm and go with the menu because this is what we were taught to do or indoctrinated into doing. Latino culture, you're supposed to be a woman of good. And if you're a good woman, you put yourself last and everybody else is first. That is a big lie. That is really not real. You got to put yourself first and love yourself first in order to serve others with love and in a healthy way. That is for sure. Let's talk about a little bit about menopausal women. When you are in menopause, basically in many cultures, women in menopause, basically your life is over. You're ready to just sit down and watch soap operas till the day you die. Well, I can tell you this. I am a woman in the middle of my menopause. I'm 59 years old and I'm hardly started. So it's about being persistent, resilient, not giving up. And my plan is as long as I have a brain and a voice, I will never stop working on helping others improve their quality of life and me doing the same for myself, improve my quality of life and help others do the same. Very important with this detail, no matter what age we are. That is for sure. We can hit the start button no matter whenever in this life, we can still hit that start button again and again and again.
Yep, I agree. I agree. So I would like to take this time out to tell you that I appreciate you coming on the show today
Thank you.
and telling your story, talking a little bit about the book that you helped co-author, talking about your your background with in dance and Zumba and your massage therapy and holistic health. I appreciate you coming on, talking with us, talking with myself about it, expressing it to my audience, so hopefully they take a lot from it as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex, for having me. It was lovely being here with you. Thank you so much. It's a big honor.
Oh yes, no problem, no problem. I'm glad to have you on. So everybody that's out there watching, you all go to the description, go to the show notes. Follow her on social media, reach out to her if you need help or if you know someone that needs help. Just reach out to her and talk to her. I mean, she don't mind having a conversation with you. So you all go support her in any way possible. But thank you all for watching another episode of All in All with Alex, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thank you.